Okay, so we saw how a tax affects consumers and the equilibrium. Now let's see how a tax would affect suppliers. So a tax on suppliers basically means that whatever money they get now is going to have to be reduced by the amount of the tax. And again, let's assume the tax is $2. So now every time a supplier gets a price from the consumer, he'll have to reduce that revenue by $2, which is the amount of the tax. So that's going to be the new supply curve. And clearly what happens here is that we're going to bring that 2 to the other side. So the supply with the tax is going to be 4 plus AQ. So what we did essentially is to shift the supply curve to the left, to shift the intercept to the left. And now that the demand stays the same, PD equals 22 minus 2Q, and now we can put the two equations together to solve for the equilibrium price and quantity. All right, so that's minus 2Q. Now you solve for Q. Lo and behold, what you get is that Q is still the same as it was when the tax was in consumers. It's 1.8. But the price, since the supply curve is the one that shifts to the left, ends up being this is 22 minus 2 times 1.8. The price is actually 18.4, which is more than the equilibrium price because the supply curve shifts to the left. Now the question will be, clearly the tax on sellers, the equilibrium is the same. The only thing that changed is the price. The price is 18.4 when the tax is on suppliers, but the tax ends up being 16.4 when the tax is on consumers. But as it turns out, that really doesn't matter because effectively the suppliers and the buyers are actually going to end up hurt equally the same regardless of who sends the tax to the government. We'll get that into in a different video. But the most important thing in terms of how the tax affects consumer surplus or consumer welfare or total welfare in general is that the tax, it doesn't matter if it's imposed in suppliers or if imposed in buyers, it's going to reduce the quantity in the market to 1.8. So that means that it doesn't matter which side of the market sends the tax to the government, the loss to society is the same. And now let's see how that loss in society is going to look like in a diagram.